It's all right. Whatever. I mean, play. Just, I'm going live though. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, about to go live in just a second. Do be sure to share that link. This is the official live stream where we acknowledge that we crossed 15,000 subscribers on the Mind Your Biz channel. I'm hyped. So thank you for being here with me live. Thank you for sharing that link. I'll be on camera very, very soon. Just getting the last couple of articles in place. Got mega content for today's live stream. Because we've been streaming less frequently, I'm going to pop in a couple of extra articles. We'll just touch on them lightly, but you know, that's what's on the agenda today. As per usual, everything that we're going to talk about is in the description of this video, so you can always follow along. I don't like to hold any of the stuff over your head. That's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to me. Hey, I see those views popping up as well as the likes, guys. Thanks so much. Talk to you face to face in just a second. And welcome back, guys. Do be sure to make that subscribe button explode and then click the bell icon so you're notified when new media comes out. If you hear some kids playing in the background, they had an extra day home from school after President's Day. Thank you for being here with me live as we celebrate 15,000 subscribers on the Mind Your Biz channel, guys. It's such an accomplishment for me right now. I realize there are other channels out there that have much higher followings. I realize that there are other channels out there that publish much more frequently, and I get that, but I appreciate you being on this journey with me. I see Crypto Mikkel in the chat saying, yo, fam. Sam is throwing up the peace sign. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being so supportive over the years. As far as cryptocurrency-related content on YouTube, it's only been since early 2018 that I've been publishing here on YouTube, I guess as well as alternate platforms, but I really appreciate you being supportive. Really, it means the world to me. This whole cryptocurrency scene is changing my life, and I think it's for the better. We're going to talk about some articles that I think are highly impactful of the markets right now. Do be sure that, again, you hit that thumbs up if you're coming in. Don't be a lurker. Do make comments. Your comments will be on screen before long. Let's see. Hey, TC Montague has a wonderful quote. Says, the world has gone crazy and BTC is the peaceful revolution. I agree. Bitcoin is sound money that does not require violence to enforce it. Generally speaking, if an idea requires violence to be implemented, it's probably not all that good an idea. Not convincing, to be sure. Tizen Coin says, crypto dad, yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Definitely appreciate that. I kind of go by Uncle Seth in this space. Definitely appreciate you guys being here. Let's take a look at our current market metrics, right? Our fear and greed index. We'll start with that. And you do see below my avatar the security and privacy hardened Mind Your Biz phone. Just to be very, very clear, that's something I'm still offering. It is basically just, by any other name, a Google Pixel device that has the Calyx OS flashed onto it, and then has a few security items added to it, such as a privacy shield over the front. See that? Can't see it from an angle. That's important for those of us who are into cryptocurrency. We do not want surveillance, which is everywhere in this world, to be able to see what's on our screens. We could have a privacy sensitive QR code on our screen, even if it's just a public address, public crypto address. We don't want third parties to know what addresses correspond to us. You figure if you were picked up by a security camera that saw a public QR code and your face, you would have immediate doxing of your face and that public crypto address. See, that was one of the privacy considerations for this phone. Comes with a case so that you don't break your phone. I mean, how many phones have you seen out there with a broken screen and a broken case, right? It just, why? We solved this problem a decade ago, guys. Really, don't walk around with broken glass phones. Just doesn't make any sense. And then a couple other things as well, such as a Faraday bag that it comes with, so that you can fully shut down all the radio transmission of your phone on demand if you need to. All of that is included. We are looking at launching a couple of additional products as well from the Mind Your Biz web store directly on the site, payable either in PayPal or in any cryptocurrencies, including Monero, if you choose. We do know how to carefully and privately handle Bitcoin, Ethereum, and any ERC20 tokens that you might want to send our way as well. So that the trail ends with us. But this is not the perfect example of it. This is a prototype that I did, very, very rough prototype that I did of seed phrase, right? Offline analog seed phrase creation tools. So that's That right there is an 1/8 inch metal. We went with a 16-inch metal instead, 1/16 of an inch of metal. And then this is what's called a scribe. That's a carbide tip scribe. So I'm going to go ahead and just for your benefit, I'm going to scratch onto this surface right here, the word test. And I'm going to scratch back and forth, T, E. You can hear that, can't you? And I'm actually scraping off a full layer of paint from this from this seed phrase plate. And it's kind of tough, but I'm doing this by hand because the carbide tip is hard enough for me to scratch all the way into the metal. And then I don't need any custom tools. I don't need a special punch or anything. But you can see I was able to scratch that right in. Those are big letters. You might not be able to see down in the corner. I'm able to do that in a much smaller way. There's a tiny little T right there in that corner. See that, guys? Might not show up on camera there. But got a bunch of these, and then I've got a bunch of the correct size, as I mentioned before, of these are actually fully flash free. See that? Small enough to fit inside of your wallet if you wanted it to, or transport it, hide it someplace. 1/16 of an inch, so definitely really, really strong. And it's stainless steel, so unlikely to rust, as well as a coating for you to be able to scratch off, as well as what is the word I'm looking for here? Actually, we do this the other way around. We're able to do electro engraving, and it comes with a full electro engraving kit for you to be able to do an even deeper etching into the metal after the fact. We'll do a video on that very, very soon, but the point is, I went ahead and sourced all of this stuff before we all needed it. So I got you back. Got you guys covered there. More privacy-oriented stuff for you. Who could have foreseen all this stuff happening, you know, in America's hat? I might not even be able to say that C word on stream because it might get me flagged. Is that crazy? Those are the conditions that we're fighting against right now. The point is, though, privacy-oriented stuff, privacy is coming at a premium right now, and I don't think that's the way it should be. But I think that it's important for Mind Your Biz to continue to focus on privacy orientation. Right now, the price action is not super exciting, right? We're not super excited to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum's price, but we do know that whatever we currently hold, we need to keep private. Otherwise, there will be people who are interested in de-anonymizing us. That said, let me jump out of the way and just say again, this is the Fear and Greed Index score of 20. We're in extreme fear. Yesterday it was extreme fear. Last week it was just fear, but I called it neutrality. See, the trend has definitely dropped down. We are moving into extreme fear, and I think we're going to stay that way for a while. Guys, let me make sure that your chats are on screen. I love seeing your chats on screen. Let me just make sure that they're actually showing. I didn't have those updated just yet, but those should be. Boop, live. All right, we got them themed as well. Definitely appreciate you. Poor investors in the chat. Hey, poor investor. I got to talk to you about Chia sometime soon. I got to talk to my audience about Chia sometime soon. But I appreciate that you've been keeping that hit list of creators that are not mentioning Chia. If you remember, I've kept a portfolio that has highlighted Chia. It's been our biggest loser because we did an entry into that paper trade portfolio at all-time high. So it looks bad right now. I'm just going to say it for the record, guys. I'm on board. I mentioned that I needed to see more pain, more blood in the streets, and I think that Chia is finally in that position where it's going to find bottom support, and where projects like Chia are now going to swing back up, and now they're going to show what they've really got by way of fundamentals. So the poor investor has stayed faithful to Bram and Co. So he's the guy to talk to. Would love to pick your brain sometime, or just have a public conversation, right? Public live stream where we can both build up some content surrounding that. But anyway, guys, I digress. Great to see the poor investor in the chat. Crypto Mikkel, of course, saying need a new phone bad. Well, we got to talk about that. Mikkel, hit me up. You know the DMs. So yeah, guys, I'm excited to have your chat back on screen. There's the poor investor right there. But this is our current Fear and Greed Index, guys. This was too good to be true. We were in neutrality, which for me, you can't respond to neutrality. That's just the reality, guys. In my opinion, you can't respond to neutrality. I like to zig when the market is zagging, or at least that's the methodology, right? When people are euphoric, you kind of like rein it in, become a little more conservative. When people are very, very conservative and full of fear, then you get bullish. And we're going to talk about how that's the strategy of people who are obvious millionaires in this space. There's an article down in the description of this video that I think validates that approach. That said, is this legal financial business investing or self-defense advice? You must be new here if you think that. That's not what we do here. We just talk about markets, and I'm just a guy on YouTube voicing his opinion for education and entertainment purposes. I know. That was very, very diplomatic, but that's the game, and I appreciate you guys playing alongside me here on YouTube. All right, guys, if you're lurking in the comments section, if you're lurking on this stream, do yourself and, well, I guess me a favor. Do hit that subscribe button, guys. We crossed 15,000 subscribers, and it's so awesome to finally get there after years of toil. I've been told by some people who are specialists in the, not just the crypto scene or in the YouTube scene, but in the crypto YouTube scene, that my channel was shadow banned for a year and a half, 2 years. I don't know what that means. We're still growing, and I appreciate that you're here with me. So do make sure you click those buttons. But moving on from the Fear and Greed Index, guys, this is what the charts look like right now. You can tell I'm still just using free tools over on TradingView, and we're back into that range that, to me, signals a very solid DCA range. Let's zoom way out, get ourselves a little more comfortable with what's happening right now. This is the daily chart over on TradingView. And zoom way back out, guys. We've got the yellow, right? Pretend like this is a stoplight, right? You're looking at traffic, right? So you've got green light means, in my opinion, go. You can DCA in this range. We've got that validated over the last several months, right? The beginning of 2021 into this current, what we consider the bull run. This is a great DCA range. Yellow, depending on your risk tolerance, yellow could mean go faster. Yellow could mean slow down. That's up to you to decide. But that's the range that I think is represented by that yellow streak there. And then red definitely means stop. It definitely means pump the brakes at least, right? So you don't slide out into where you're going to get wrecked in the middle of an intersection. And then this ultraviolet, I just kind of made that up because you don't see that on a stoplight, but it definitely means you're approaching, you're approaching levels of heat that you're just not ready for, right? So we're going to mix metaphors here. This is like a stop sign or stoplight, and then this is like levels of red, right? Red means danger, red means fire, red means heat, red means be careful, red means stop. There's a lot of things in nature and in our world that red signals, in terms of caution. And so we continued with the theme of red after you got past red, because how do you get more red than red? You get ultraviolet, I guess. So we got that sort of violet color there. It just means danger. And if we got any higher, we'd start going into like blue and then towards white, right? That'd be the idea, like white hot. Stop, stop, stop. Be very, very careful. You don't want to throw your good money after bad up in those ranges yet. Whereas down here towards yellow and green, you can probably DCA and you'll be fine in the long run. At least historically, that's what Bitcoin has signaled that it can do. Our current chopstick indicator, guys, yep. We use chopsticks. That's all we use. That and the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence down here. We've got a negative histogram, right, or a bearish histogram with growing divergence. So we're seeing right here, we set the chopsticks up here, we trace the bottoms of our candles, and we still weren't aggressive enough to be able to see exactly what that trend was. We probably need to reset these here. Go to the bottom of that uppermost candle right there. And so we're not gonna measure wicks at all. But here we go, and we'll trace that. Looks like, yeah, unless we see a correction, we may be on our way continuing even farther downward. Maybe this isn't even actually a descending triangle. We might just be seeing a downward trend is all we're seeing here. Maybe. But that's where I'm going to place those chopsticks for right now. This chart is public, guys. I am not afraid to just say I'm not a technician. I'm not an analyst. This isn't what I do, right? I just like to have my eyes on the chart so that I'm not entirely blind when I do take a look at current pricing for Bitcoin, or somebody says like, do you know what happened to Bitcoin? I can honestly say, yeah, I've got some idea. I mean, I've got some clue. I'm not like, whatever, living and dying by these charts. I'm not losing sleep at 3 a.m. trying to reset a 15-minute chart or a 1-minute chart. I can't live like that. That's just not right for me. But a 1-day chart, I can handle. Even a 2-hour, 4-hour chart, I can handle. So we'll keep that public right there, guys. Appreciate seeing those likes come in. Teaspoon Miner is in the chat, says, what's up, Mind Your Biz? Well, your Teaspoon Miner's here. That's what's up. Thanks for spending some time with us, brother. Appreciate that. Got Tizen Coin saying, mine the dip, support the network. I have my renovations going for summer heat management. Long-term game player here. Nice. Love to hear that. Yeah, guys, if you're not considering the possibility of doing any kind of a liquid, a single liquid immersion cooling setup, like just dunking your rigs in some kind of a coolant, like engineering fluid, or if you've got rigs that can support it, even just mineral oil, then we should talk about that on another episode as well. If you've got ASICs or if you've got particularly robust mining edition cards, you can possibly get away with just removing the shrouds and ensuring that you don't have materials on your cards that will be corroded by mineral oil. It might be a decent option for you. So we'll talk about that at another time. Definitely appreciate that. Guys, Teaspoon Miner is throwing up the bullhorns. Remember, guys, on this stream, we do pay homage to the late Savage Mine. So whenever you feel like throwing up the horns or the hashtag Stay Savage or Savage Mine, I encourage it, guys. It does help the algorithm to feed his channel even in, after his death. It does help feed that channel. And I've had it confirmed to me that his family still benefits from views and ad revenue on his channel. So do always keep that in mind. I think that's important for us to support our own. The mining community and the crypto community came together big time to assist his family after his passing. So, I mean, that, guys, when it mattered, we did it. We proved it. We passed the test as a tribe. We passed the test as a culture. We helped somebody genuinely in need. So let's keep that going. All right, guys, jumping back out. This is the chart. Going to keep that locked in. Take a look at our TX Street right there. TX Street chart is going to pull up just a second here. Here we go. Median transfer fee. Oh, almost $12 just to send Ethereum from one wallet to another. Almost $70 to send any kind of a stable coin right there. TXStreet.com is what we use on a regular basis, have for months, what we use on a regular basis to visualize what the current gas fees and current TX fees are. Over on Bitcoin, man, 1 sat per VByte. Guys, I'm just going to say it might be a good time for you to consider downloading yourself a copy of Samurai Wallet if you haven't already. Median transfer fee, transaction fee of 27 cents on Bitcoin. I'm just going to say, if you know anybody who drives a large vehicle north of the border, teach them how to use Samurai Wallet, because this is a great, great time to get a coin join going on those coins. It's the least expensive it's going to be for a long time. I know I've got to be so careful about how I say those words, guys, because we are firmly in enemy territory. We're behind enemy lines at all times. If you're into crypto, if you're into Bitcoin, you are part of the resistance. If you're watching this signal, you are part of the resistance. And it's incumbent on you to reach out to people who will hear your voice in your sphere of influence. I know. Is that crazy talk? Is that crazy for me to talk that way? Maybe, but that's the reality. That really is the reality right now, guys. This is not a dress rehearsal. We are not, we're not playing a game of scrimmage right now. This is for real. The score matters right now. So do reach out to people who you can help. All right, that's the current gas fees. Let's take a look at this tweet from Laura Shin. Laura Shin just released her book, and I realize I'm kind of like low key. I'm promoting her book. I haven't read the thing yet, but the publication of her book, she says, I can finally announce in the course of writing my book, my sources and I believe we uncovered the identity of Ethereum's 2016 DAO hacker. Bruh, that is crazy. That's crazy. Teaspoon Miner says that on the Ethereum side that he pulled about $900 earlier. It only cost about $6 of the gas fee of around 110 Gwei. That's awesome. As we know, though, it is a moving target. So the gas fee structure is such that the gas fee marketplace within Ethereum is a moving target. So you can set those lower thresholds if you're not comfortable spending too much, but then you pay in terms of wait time. Right, having your transaction queued in that lineup, I love the way it's visually demonstrated here on txstreet.com. Your transaction would then be queued farther back for a block where 110 Gwei might be acceptable. So you got 124 on that block height is at 14258. 540, and then the block following up, it's already popped up to 150 Gwei there. 123 Gwei on this one. You have to jump really far back. 115 there, 107 here. You have to jump really far back, and then as these near the current block height, as they approach the current block height, it's very common for that gas fee to grow. So for anybody who's not familiar with how the gas fee marketplace on Ethereum works, Teaspoon Miner's experience is very typical, right? To be able to get transactions through at a slightly lower fee than what everybody else says they're paying at the moment, but sometimes you pay in wait time, right? You just gotta wait until it's cheaper. I'm going to stand by what I said before, guys. If you don't already have a copy of Samurai Wallet, it is free, open source, and proven to be more secure than Wasabi Wallet, which we'll touch on in just a minute here. But yeah, I'm not even going to apologize for saying that. That's not slander. That's not me. It's not defamatory for me to say that. The developers of Wasabi Wallet, I think, probably mean well. I don't know what their intention is in continuing to promote a wallet that has been de-anonymized, but I won't say anything defamatory about them, just to say that their mixing implementation doesn't work. It's that simple. Samurai's does, and that's been proven over and over again. But Laura Shin talks about this, published an article on Forbes talking about this. I mean, she's selling books, so just be aware of that. But says to unveil their identity on today's episodes of Unchained. Let's see, So they've talked all about this, right? Who's behind it? I'm looking forward to reading the book. I really am. I think it's going to be a good thing. I'm kind of bummed that it's not available somewhere else. Wouldn't mind getting a copy of the hardcover. We'll see. But wouldn't mind, wouldn't mind just reviewing it some other way. But she does talk about how this person how their identity was revealed. But apparently the 2016 DAO hacker used at the time, oh, good grief. I can't even think of the name of the exchange. It was so popular. Why am I drawing blank now? It was such an important exchange. It also has the Fox logo. Guys, I am drawing blank. Help me out here, fam. Help me out. It's a centralized exchange, but it had no KYC requirements back in the day, and it has a fox as the logo. Why am I drawing blank? The point is, they used a centralized exchange back in the day when KYC was not required. They then ran several versions of the funds, and that they actually transferred it from Ethereum Classic into some other coins. They've held on to them for this long, and the upshot is Chainalysis, on-chain analytics have de-anonymized this person because even though they kept bouncing through various centralized exchanges and even used Grin, right, with a Mimblewimble implementation, used Grin and some other privacy-preserving technologies, or at least they thought, like Wasabi Wallet, their coin joins were de-anonymized and then traced back to this person, traced back to an origin wallet from the hack. So it was way too high profile a hack. And so people are interested in finding out who did this. And this person was de-anonymized using Grin. So I figured that one out. So Epic Cash, sorry, Mimblewimble is not a guarantee of privacy, but using Grin and using a mixing service through Wasabi. So it's, guys, you just got to know your operational security, unless it's flawless, just takes one mistake, and then you tug on that thread long enough and the whole thing becomes unraveled and de-anonymized. So that happened, and apparently it is revealed in Laura Shin's book. I can't wait to take a look at that. But guys, again, what is causing this particular fear and greed index value? Why are we at this level? Part of it has to do with the news cycle. Let's see what's happening in California. Apparently, Senator Sidney Kamlager. Good grief, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Why is this so difficult today? It just is. That's how it is today. But Senator Sidney introduced a bill allowing state agencies to accept cryptocurrency payments for services. This bill would authorize a state agency to accept cryptocurrency as a method of payment for the provision of government services. The bill has yet to pass into law. I think it's going to be a great thing. There you go. Ian C. Calderon says that he and Dennis Porter are working on a bipartisan effort to legislatively explore Bitcoin as legal tender in the state of California. More to come. So it's funny that they're really pushing to try to make it a Bitcoiner thing. Dennis Porter is a noted Bitcoin maximalist. I think that Ian C. Calderon is as well at this point. But the way that this is framed is that they are looking to accept crypto payments, right? So generic crypto payments, which I think makes a lot more sense. That's certainly what's happening in Colorado right now. And again, I think it makes more sense. You have stable coins that are running on top of Ethereum rails. Currently, the amount of tether that's printed on the Omni layer protocol on Bitcoin, just not working. Good grief. Marins is here to save the day. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm actually thinking about a couple of other articles we have. It says Shapeshift has a fox. Appreciate you saying that. I was drawing blank, guys, and here's why. I haven't used Shapeshift since they implemented KYC years ago. So it's not that they're dead to me. It's just that they're no use to me. So thank you for the reminder. I haven't used them in that long. I used Shapeshift before they required KYC. I will not use them today. That's the bottom line for me. It's a hard line for me. I do not use services that require KYC. And And it's not because I'm part of like the 2016 DAO hack or whatever, or because I was part of the Bitfinex hack or something. At least clearly nobody's been able to prove it. They think somebody else did those things, so it probably wasn't me, right? So it's not that I have an interest in covering up crimes that I've committed. I just have an interest in preserving my privacy, because there is a fine line. And they didn't require KYC to de-anonymize these hackers. You following? Blockchain takes care of all that for you, right? You don't need KYC to figure out where all the UTXOs go or where all the transfers go. The transactions are immutably stored on a blockchain. We don't need to put somebody's, photo of their copy of their photo ID onto somebody's centralized servers to figure out whether or not they were involved in something, or they ever touched a Bitcoin or an Ether that was ever used by anybody else in crime. I just don't think that's just not necessary. That wasn't the intent. So anyway, appreciate that again, Murans, for saving the day there. I was like drawing blank entirely. But that's part of the news cycle, guys, is that apparently that person has been de-anonymized, and using Shapeshift did not help them back in the day. Neither did a few centralized exchanges. But so California is considering adding cryptocurrency. This is what I think is most important to be aware of. So the largest Ethereum whale ever is in an accumulation spree, and specifically buying Chainlink. Right, so it's obvious that there have been almost $7 million worth of Ether spent to acquire Link. Right, so that's happening. Pax Gold also being bought up, Basic Attention Token, and then Maker also being bought up. And you can see that over on whalestats.com. The address is linked to in the description, or in the video. Not the video. It's in the description of this video. You'll find a link to this article, and you will find a link to the original article from Whale Tracker, right? Whalestats.com, where you can find this page here. I didn't link to that directly, but it's pretty darn cool that they have all this information right here. The wallet performance for these guys, they've picked a lot of winners. 2022 has been a good year for them so far, right? I mean, they're on the point of, gosh, if they can continue their winning streak, they could maintain that upward trajectory, double their wallet holdings in only a few months. That's crazy, guys. That's just crazy to me. But they're doing awesome. This is one great way to try to figure out, like, how can I trade in order to match what the big boys do? I mentioned it before that when the market is fearful, it's probably time to get a little more greedy. When the market is greedy, probably time to pump the brakes. And it's wallets like these. These guys who, we love to hate, like, oh, this whale moved the market or whatever. Maybe, but this looks like a person who, like, who with this amount of funding, right, with just over $3 billion worth of value in a wallet, they're probably somebody that I'd want to learn from, right? That's hashtag not advice or whatever. That's probably somebody who I want to learn from. I don't know about you, but I want to learn from people who've actually been successful. Not people who talk about it, not people who are LARPers or who are grifters coming into this space who've been successful in other businesses and then pretend to know about cryptocurrency. Those people can leave forever and go do whatever else they want. I really don't care what they do, because we've seen them come and go. Right? Who are like, oh, well, I'm successful. Look, I drive this fancy car, whatever. I drive around in my net worth. I have a really fancy mansion, and they're like totally cash poor. Like, whatever. Okay, I guess. You can't fake this. This is real. This is verifiable. This is on chain. So you can't fake this. Some Goblins Around to Know asks a question in the chat, says, do you also have a link for Samurai Wallet? No, I do not, but you know what? I've got no problem looking that up live for you guys. Samurai Wallet, and I'll put it right into our live chat comments right now. SamuraiWallet.com, spelled the Canadian / the British way, right? Using the Queen's English with an OU. There's Samurai Wallet, a Bitcoin wallet for the streets. And it is available, I can tell you, available in F-Droid. So you see right there, available in F-Droid. You can download it directly from the repository. You don't have to get it from Google Play, and it's only available on Android. Why is that? Because iOS is an anti-feature for privacy. iOS spies on you natively. And I don't care if you withhold the upgrade button for 6 months. You're not being clever. You're not being smart. Apple still wants to own all of your data. So if you use any of the sub apps that definitely will spy on you, then even if you don't upgrade the version of iOS, those apps will eventually spy on you. And I'm talking about iCloud, I'm talking about iMessages. The gloves are off. Privacy is the final frontier. You do need to be in charge of your own privacy. You do need to understand what your options are for maintaining your own personal data sovereignty. And I know here I am with my face on camera talking about this. But there are some things that people don't know about me and can never know about me because they are fully secret. They're fully guarded through encryption or offline storage, right? So I am practicing what I preach there. And yeah, whatever. Are you mad about that? Stay mad, I guess. But what I'd rather do is share that with the community. It's never been so obviously important to talk about privacy and privacy measures. But yeah, thank you for asking about that. God, am I getting a little bit fiery? Yeah, I'm a little bit fiery. I am. But hey, that's why you came here, right? Uncle Seth gets a little bit upset because, you know, time is short. We got one life to live, and I'm hoping that all the nieces and nephews pay attention here because my kids know this stuff. I'll just put it that way. My kids know this stuff inherently. My kids literally, when they do bring a phone to school with them, they carry it in a Faraday bag. They literally carry a Faraday bag to school, and they take out their phone or the phone that is sent with them. It's not their phone, not registered, and their name has zero identifying personal information. They take it out only to call their mom and me if needs be. So yeah, anyway, we practice what we preach. I'm just saying it. Just saying, guys. So here it is, Bitcoin Wallet for the Streets. Grab that URL, drop it into our live chats so you can see that right there, samwarewallet.com. But guys, this is just a tool. It's just a tool that I think everybody should be aware of. I strongly recommend it. It comes in the quick start guide for the Mind Your Biz phone. It's got a little QR code that links to a page there for users of that phone to give them suggestions on how to improve their privacy fast. Yeah. Latrell says, I saw you mention Samurai Wallet on the Crypto Wendy-O video. There was some good content there. I appreciate you saying that, man. Here's the thing. There are people who have been through some stuff in life, and once you've been through certain things in life, you can never go back. The line is drawn. You can never go back. And you don't really care what grifters and what LARPers say. They can get stuffed. They can pound sand. Ooh. Guys, it's taken a lot of discipline lately to use my good language on stream. But yeah, I've seen too many people who are like, whoa, it's just so easy. All you got to do is this thing. Like, good luck getting wrecked, man. We literally see people losing their livelihoods, see people having their lives ruined right now because they don't know how to get private fast enough. So appreciate you saying that, Latrell. Appreciate it in the comments, guys. I get fiery about that stuff because it's becoming one of the only battles that matters anymore. Privacy, the battle for data privacy and removing PII, personally identifying information from platforms that don't deserve to know about us. So yeah, surveys that you're asked to take on social media platforms, just say no, just opt out. Don't give them any more information. Start poisoning the well. Give them bad information about yourself. Give them a wrong birth date for you. Tell them you were born in 1923. Who cares? Like, why do they need to know? Why do they need to know when your birthday is? Obviously, this is so they can sell your information or they can fully pin down your real world identity. They're not a government organization, and you are not required, even for a lot of government organizations, to give all that much information. Just throwing it out there. Some goblin loser, I don't know, says they can go mate with grass, as some ordinary gamer says. That's a good one. Got to use that. Mate with grass, pound sand. Yeah, they can. Yeah, right. Get that pickaxe and go shove it into some ore. Yeah. So I just think, guys, these are some of the few battles that are actually worth picking anymore, because they're some of the few messages that genuinely the entire world needs to hear. So I sincerely hope it doesn't come down to dying on this hill, right? The whole point of a battle is not to die for your country, but to make the other guy die for his country. So I sincerely hope that people's poor arguments die on this hill, not mine. We need privacy. There we go. Lots of metaphors, and we'll mix them. We'll go all the way. But yeah, take a look at this guy's wallet. I do want to learn how to accumulate wealth and acquire wealth by observing people like this. So observing what's happening on chain can be your friend. Being observed on chain and allowing yourself to have everything observed on chain and then having that correlated to your real world identity is your enemy. Right? It's a fine line, but that's blockchain in a nutshell. It's a public ledger. So what you do is public. Just make sure that you don't put your literal real world face on it and you're fine. You're not ever going to find a mineyourbiz.eth address. You're not going to find a myname.eth address. I don't care for that. I think I've gotten literally one on-chain address once because it was gifted to me by a company that was doing that. And I thought, okay, that's cool. I don't promote it because I don't want that mess. I don't want that headache. That's not something you can ever come back from if you ever do any transactions on that address. So, yeah. Some Goblin Loser Ought to Know coming up with some brilliant lyrics there, some songs. I definitely appreciate that down in the chat. Guys, I realize it's taking a little bit longer to get through some of these articles, but this stuff is important to me. And yeah, I know you tune in to hear some of the rants just a little bit. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, smashing like, and sharing this article. You can see this right here, guys. That's the address. Let me show you a QR code just so you can see it for the live stream purposes. It's just easier to be able to do that later on. Pause it if you need to. Go back, pause it. But yeah, oh my gosh, McDonald's metaverse coin? What? This person has almost $1 billion worth of McDonald's metaverse? Google Super, what? Huh? How? Google Super Bowl? YouTube, what? Huh? This person looks an awful lot like a boomer, but they're making it work. I don't get it, but like, clearly it made sense to them and they've made some bets that have worked out. Dang. I wouldn't have guessed, guys. There you go. Really conservative. So anyway, kind of interesting just to be able to pay attention to that, guys. It can be your friend, but it can also work against you. Just make sure you don't get doxxed at the end of the day. Love this little stock image here. This is actually royalty free, that image back there. But apparently there is an RTX LHR unlocker. It opens up 100% of the Ethereum hash rate. This is breaking. Shout out to Son of a Tech, because I know he's probably already, like literally, it only came out 3 hours ago. He's probably already made some article about this or some content regarding this. And then the rest of the GPU mining fam, guys, I sincerely can't wait to see somebody do a much deeper dive on this. But let's take a look. Just do a little cursory overview. There's a GitHub page by Sergey Dev. NVIDIA RTX LHR version 2 unlocker can fully unlock the mining performance of these Ampere cards. The light hash rate, or LHR for short, versions of the NVIDIA graphics cards come packed to the limiter that prevents miners from being able to use the full compute power for mining Ethereum or any other crypto. That's not true. It literally is just Dagger Hashimoto. So it is Ethereum and the Dagger Hashimoto algorithm. Just so you're aware, for the benefit of this audience, guys, if you wanted to mine something that was like Ravencoin or Flux, right, that used some variant of ProgPow or Zellhash, you'd be fine. Actually, these LHR cards are not hash rate limited in that same way. It's the Dagger Hashimoto function. It is the memory hardness of mining Ethereum that's been artificially gimped on these cards, right? It's been artificially nerfed on these cards. This is good news, though. All right, so it says, latest version of NB Miner, software that unlocks the additional hash rate. Only 70% of the power can be used for Ethereum mining. This new unlocker supposedly removes the complete limit and lets miners make use of all the available power. This is great news for anybody who was in the market for cards right now. The bad news is the premium that was only applied to the full versions of the RTX cards is now going to apply to the LHR cards as well, right? Anybody who was buying GPUs before and keeping the price of the LHR cards low is now going to be like, whatever, they're fair game. So we're going to see a shift in the value of cards, even though right now you'd expect for prices to start going down. I don't think we're going to see that for a little while. It's going to be a long tail to see those prices go down. But we've got this GitHub repository right here. Drop that into the live chat. So if you're watching this on the replay, it's available right there. But it's of course also linked to from the article that is in the description of this video. So yeah. Disclaimer, I'm not responsible for anything you do with the software. I forbid the sale of BIOS files modified with this program. I do not agree to copying and reselling the modified version of the drivers. This is not a good way to put your license. It would be really important to put licensing under the licensing side of your repository. So hopefully Sergey Dev is able to figure that out, because apparently this all just was uploaded yesterday. Guys, go fork this repository before it disappears, because maybe he needs to figure out how to do licensing declarations on GitHub, because that's just not how it works. You can't just add those two lines by saying, I don't want you to do this. It's one thing to say you don't want that, but for all we know, that's performance art. You could be joking. You could be dead. We might not know. Anyway, Crypto at Night is in the chat saying, I've seen some handsome fellas before, but wowie. I don't know who you're referring to. I'm going to fake smolder for the camera. Let's ham it up for Crypto at Night. Glad to see you here, brother. Appreciate you being here with us live. All right, guys, but that's the disclaimer. That's not a legal license, right? For software. That's not how it works. So set a good dev if you're watching, or, if you need to reissue this, please do reissue it with the correct license. You're going to get wrecked by just saying that on a repository that's public. But anyway, they've got this full detail on how you can get that full 100% hash rate unlock on the LHR models. Oh, well, rip LHR low pricing. Just how it's going to work. Tom P is in the chat saying good vibes to all. Good vibes to you too, sir. Good, sir. Appreciate that. All right, Brazil takes its first step to regulate Bitcoin. The Senate's Economic Affairs Committee unanimously approved a bill that seeks to regulate the day-to-day usage of Bitcoin in financial transactions. Guys, Brazil. I really did expect for Brazil to kind of be on top of this faster. I would have loved to have seen this 6 months ago, a year ago. It could have seriously helped the Brazilian real basically avoid total wreckage. The real got totally beat down over the last year, which is truly sad. The country of Brazil, the nation of Brazil, is such an industrious nation with such incredibly hardworking and dedicated people. I mean, there's so much hustle in that culture. It's hard to convey in a live stream. So I'm truly sad to see them take so long to get to it. I know it sounds weird, but El Salvador got to it, and that should have been the high sign, with so many Brazilians also kind of like already being Bitcoin holders and cryptocurrency advocates and fans. It makes me truly sad they didn't quite get to it fast enough. But I think they may have been able to save their own not cryptocurrency, their own currency, their own national currency from ruin and overinflation by just getting Bitcoin into their treasury early on. That would have been really, really cool. So let's just double check this article here says that their CAE, there we go, approved a bill to acknowledge and regulate Bitcoin cryptocurrency markets in the country according to an official statement. Let's pop that open right there. Hey, this is literally their Senate webpage. This is a .br website. So this is the actual bill right here. No, I don't want that. Yeah, it says now, not now. Yeah, not now. Thanks, guys. But there you go. Well, they're still masking, so there's something that's not quite right, but only partially. Anyway, they'll figure it out. Point is, and I don't have a good translation tool here for our live stream, but the whole thing is here. It's linked to from this article over on bitcoinmagazine.com. It's important to just be aware that cryptocurrency markets, it's not strictly Bitcoin. You got a lot of Bitcoiners who are going to try to tell you that with all of these recent measures, with all of the recent geopolitical tensions that are happening and the censorship of finance, that it's Bitcoin only and it's the only way forward. I'm here to tell you, we do have other options. Other people are building. Bitcoin is extremely interesting and extremely important, but it's not the only thing, clearly. We've got over 12,000 coins out in the wild, and so it's painfully obvious that Bitcoin is not the only one. So it's important for governments the world round also to acknowledge this, that they're going to have to regulate all kinds of cryptocurrencies, because if they only regulate Bitcoin, then they're going to force all other cryptocurrencies into the hands of people who don't want to function under regulation, right? Like there's some game theory here. If you're working in government and you say like, well, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the only thing. Nope. Now everybody goes to Monero, and you're making them criminals, but they also have better privacy than you anyway. So anyway, you see the problems there? It's like overly restrictive Second Amendment regulation as well. You have to be thoughtful about this stuff if you're going to regulate it at all. Otherwise, why bother? Some Goblin Loser says, not to distract you some more, but whenever you're available, what are your thoughts on Ethereum Classic now? Yeah, it's a great question. And I promise it's not a distraction. We should put it in the portfolio later on, so we'll get back to that when we're talking about coins. Appreciate that. That's actually a great question. But yeah, guys, we got Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies seriously being discussed, seriously being worked on in Brazil. Guys, bravo. Nation of Brazil, so excited for you. Cannot wait to see what comes of this. And then some people over on cryptoslate.com, Liam is saying that Russia's new crypto regulation proposals are a circus and still essentially a total ban, basically. Even though, yeah, they're just like, they're kind of dancing around the fact that what they really want to do is just prevent people from using cryptocurrencies because it undermines the power of the Russian ruble. Right? Or whatever the petrodollar petrodollar backed or petrodollar equivalent currency is that they want to push forward in the future, whether it's a digital ruble or it's some alternate to the ruble or some kind of successor to the ruble. Maybe they want to rebase to something along the lines of the euro, but which they're not participating in. The point is, they don't want it to be cryptocurrency. They don't want it to be decentralized. They want control. Can you blame them? That's what governments and institutions always want, is to maintain the status quo. So we could have seen this coming. That's just my thought. There you go. Russian legislators are unable to tackle the topic of cryptocurrency regulation without near banning digital assets. Further, some recent developments have shown that regulators' right hand apparently doesn't always know what the left is doing at best, or tries to undermine it at worst. Difference of opinion. Stankovic. I think that's just great. What would that be like to have a last name with the word stank literally in your last name? Yo, Stankovic. What's your thoughts on crypto, Stankovic? Why you gotta be so stank about crypto, Vitch? Oh. See what we did there? Yeah, I know. We're so witty on this show. It's amazing. We just make this stuff up off the dome. So anyway, so apparently there's some vast differences of opinion. I think at this point, though, like I'm a little less interested in what's happening in Russian regulation. I'm a lot more concerned about people adopting cryptocurrencies at the personal sovereign level. They would have to literally provide rolling blackouts of all services and utilities in order to prevent people from being able to use cryptocurrencies if more of us just learned how to be sovereign with them, right? It really is that simple. We don't have to skip out on paying taxes, but generally speaking, if we hold our own keys, then governments the world around need to be a lot more thoughtful about how they ask for taxes and what they tax for, and listening to their taxpayers before they levy taxes. It really is kind of that simple, right? If it's hard to get money from people, then you have to convince them more. You have to make better convincing arguments. I really do think that sovereign ownership of cryptocurrencies will improve the world, just at the most fundamental level. You can't go fund, frivolous wars around the world and weird interventionist and empire-building wars around the world if people just say no and you can't force them, right? So, yeah. Just my take on it, but check that out if you want more detail. Let's take a look at some of our actual cryptocurrency data. We've got total value locked on all of the current DeFi chains, kind of moving in favor of Ethereum again. 59% market dominance for Ethereum as the main DeFi chain. And guys, I think that's just going to be a trend we continue to see. Just as a reminder, if you are lurking on the channel, guys, reminder, do hit that subscribe button, make it explode, click the bell icon so you always know when we're going live and you know when new media is being uploaded. I got a couple of new reviews that are coming out very, very soon. I'm extremely excited to bring them to you guys. Not ready yet, but just be aware. Got some review media coming out in the near future that I think you're going to enjoy seeing. I got one in particular that, like, it's ridiculous, guys. I can't believe this is my life right now. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, from my family to you, from my family to yours, thank you for helping me along this journey. Thank you for being supportive along this journey. But it's put me in a position to get up, to be in the know about certain things. And I'm glad to be early with you guys. Homie Juan to Homie says, my man Seth, not lurking. Appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. But total value locked on all chains, 59% Ethereum dominance. We've got Terra coming in right behind it, which I still think is a false metric. It really should be shown as Cosmos overall. BSC with the BNB token, and Avalanche, Phantom, Solana, Tron, and Polygon being ousted by Tron. That said, Polygon is now over the 200 protocol mark, which is a very big key metric for adoption. Guys, do not sleep on Polygon. In case you didn't notice, Polygon, of all the different cryptocurrencies on this list, only two, all the different networks on this list, only two have been mentioned by Stephen Colbert on his show recently. I'll give you a hint. One is Polygon, and the other one is the network that Polygon helps to scale. Wasn't any of the others. So there is part of a charity benefit that Stephen Colbert is working on, and there is an NFT series that is on Polygon that minted just for his charity benefit. So kind of a big deal, guys. I'm still kind of scratching my head about why people are so reluctant to jump on board. We got some TVL that's not all there yet, but I do think, yeah, when you reorder it to look like what is the protocol support, Polygon is still much farther ahead than a lot of its competitors. It is being gained on by Phantom and Avalanche. I mean, just be very, very real there. And it's not hemorrhaging as fast or it's hemorrhaging faster rather than some of the others. Avalanche is still doing quite well. It's not in the green, but it's the least in the red there. 7-day change is looking like it's in favor of some other chains that I just, I can't totally get behind. Waves is awesome. They're always doing great work. Terra, of course, also massive TVL and just like doing amazing work there. And then Cardano, we've seen this now for a little while, and Ergo. I think that's probably pretty much hedged together with Cardano. It's still in the green right now. Huobi Echo Chain, I didn't expect to see that in positive price action, but there it is. I think Waves and Terra in particular, though, are chains that you need to be aware of. Waves is nearing that $1 billion TVL. Let's go back to our TVL rankings, though. It looks like, Ethereum, guys, it popped back up, right? It took one on the chin and came right back up. I thought we were going to continue to move towards 57% or 56% market dominance, and here we are, back at 59. Who knows? Maybe with the negative price action, maybe we're going to see a little bit of a flight back to known stability, which in the case of DeFi would be Ethereum, even if the gas fees are high. I know it sounds crazy. Where you got token values low, even with the gas fees high, people tend to sort of like pull back to something they know is safe. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then any of the DeFi running on top of Ethereum. Counterintuitive, but retail is going to keep on acting like retail. That's not going to stop, right? Human nature doesn't ever stop just because conditions get difficult. And I think that's what we're seeing right here with Ethereum moving back to 59%, or I should say moving back toward 60% market dominance. But I think this trend is, I think it's probably, I'll just call it irreversible. I think we're going to continue to see Ethereum lose market dominance over time, just more slowly. But anyway, that's my thought on the DeFi Llama chart there. GPU mining profitability. Here we are on what to mine with a cost basis of 14 cents per kilowatt hour, and we're continuing to lose. That GeForce RTX 3090 only earning $3.15 per day. You'd have to be crazy to go buy one of these things right now. I'm just straight up. The cheapest you're going to pick one up for, if you're getting it at retail, brand new in box, is going to be like $2,700. Really? For $3.15 per day in profit? You better have a plan. That's all I'm going to say about that, because you're still so far above MSRP that you're going to get wrecked trying to chase profits on cards that are that expensive. That's just the reality. There's no way around that. But that's the current condition for mining on the RTX 3090. The RTX A5000 workstation class card, also it's a bit lower. It's a lot more power efficient. See, so for 114 megahash per second as the highest example right there on the 3090, you're doing 320 watts. But then with the A5000, just under 100 megahash per second at about 230 watts. It's just absolutely dominating in the efficiency space as a workstation class card. It's kind of funny, a lot of the reference designs for these A5000, A4000, A4500 series cards. A4500 is one that has definitely grabbed my attention. The TDP in terms of the heatsink and fan that is placed on the A4500, as well as the memory bus, much closer, much more resembles the A5000 than the A4000. So you got a much more memory bandwidth going through on the A4500. Price is really good, and pretty good linear increase in mining capability, as well as desktop compute capability. And I'm seriously evaluating it as a workstation card just for what I do, right, with media production and just day-to-day office work. So kind of bummed that it's not here, but we can't list every single card on every single lineup like this. But point is, these workstation cards from NVIDIA are just highly efficient. See that? You're nearly 100 watts less for only about 15 megahash less. That's pretty darn cool. I mean, really, that's just amazing. But the profits there are under $3 per day. You got Ethereum, right? You see, again, you're pulling back to these sort of like most fundamental earners with Ethereum and Nice Hack. Ugh, just makes me gag. You see a lot of the other coins falling off the profitability charts. But the Radeon 7 is still the king of Team Red as well, at being close to $3 per day. And now you got the tremendous value for a card that's that old. Tremendous value coming out of the Radeon 7. Going all the way down to the bottom of the list, what do we got here? You got the R9 380 that is still underwater. Should have been sold a while back, guys, if you are into that card. Got the R9 Fury that is still in the money, but just barely. And here are some of the suspects, or some of the coins that'll actually get you some money right now, get you some profits right now. Zero on ProgPow, Beam, Ycash, again, Zero, Ergo, Ethereum Classic, Ryo, Equilibria, CCX, Ethereum, obviously. And then some of the nice hash algorithms, which I don't feel very good about. I would say you're much better off. If you're considering nice hash, guys, definitely, I strongly encourage you to consider mineyourbiz.com instead. There is a sponsored link, not sponsored link, an affiliate link down in the description of this video if you're willing to try it. But please, if you're watching this video and you've used NiceHash or you're using NiceHash right now, consider going with mineyourbiz.com. NiceHash, I'm just going to say, like, without saying anything about the founders of NiceHash, without saying anything defamatory about the leadership team on NiceHash, other people are willing to go there. What I'm going to say is it was proven that NiceHash was used to commit 51% attacks against other networks by purchasing hash rate from their marketplace. Why would you support a system that makes that even possible? It'd be like going to like Ethermine's pool and saying like, well, you got about 30+% of the Ethereum mining hash rate right now. You're not going to use it all for Ethereum, right? How about I buy 15% of the hash rate from you and I go attack Ethereum Classic, right? That's almost exactly what it would be like. That's what NiceHash does. And I'm just not a big fan of what has happened on their watch. They put no checks and balances in place to prevent any of their buyers from going to bomb other networks. And I get it. These are permissionless networks, like, and it's adversarial, but it's kind of bothersome. Latrell says that he would sell his hash rate to go nuke Ethereum Classic, apparently. But here's the thing: it was used to bomb some other, the hash rate bomb some other networks and commit successful 51% attacks. In the case of Bitcoin Gold, for example, they got away with $20 million of value. So, like, on the one hand, bravo, you got away with it. Like that, you were really, really intelligent enough to, like, that's not an easy thing to do. You were intelligent enough to get away with a successful $20 million double spend. But on the other hand, like, yikes, why would you support a service that makes that even possible? Like, you're going to earn better on mineyourbiz.com too, I think. For you, the at-home provider, why would you support a group that makes it possible to wreck other coins? I mean, it's not like the attackers of the Bitcoin Gold network were like, hey, thanks for letting me rent your hash rate. Here's a little slice of that $20 million we stole. I mean, it's just icky all around. My point is there's not even any incentive in it for you. But anyway, yeah, just hilarious. But yeah, Latrell backpedals a little bit. Wasn't talking about what I was referring to there, but that's some of the profitability there, guys. I don't like seeing NiceHash being so regularly listed here, and I definitely strongly recommend that you take a look at mineyourbiz.com. Ethereum Classic, Ethereum on the list, Flux right there for the 2080. What else do we have that is in the profit? I think that's about it, guys. I think it's a pretty small list of coins that are actually Paul Doherty is like, all right, Seth, we need this. The 2024 book on de-anonymizing the Bitcoin Gold attacker. That's pretty funny. I mean, that's not the exact words, but you guys see the comment there. That would be funny. It's true. It would be. But I get the sense. Yeah. I think I can't talk about that too much in depth. The point is, like, I don't want to support people that do this on a regular basis. I don't want to support networks that make it possible on a regular basis, guys. It's such a weird space. And it's not that I'm calling for regulation either, right? Because it's a two-edged sword, but you know, we can vote with our feet. That's what I'm saying. We can vote with our dollars, we can vote with our feet. Just don't go support NiceHash, right? They're out there getting other coins wrecked. I don't think it's worth it, personally. You can do better on mineyourbiz.com anyway. Plus, you can charge in the coin of your choice. So instead of like just getting paid out in one coin, you can get paid out in Ethereum or some other coin. Like, you got options there too that NiceHash doesn't offer. But yeah, guys, GPU mining, I guess what I'm saying right here by even showing this page anymore is I've been saying it for months. I don't go and like, I don't demonstrate a whole lot of like mining, reconditioning content. Let me get a different visual aid. So you guys just, there you go. Proof of other GPUs other than the last one you guys saw me flash on screen. I don't go showing off a lot of my GPU mining efforts because I don't want you to get the false impression that it's worth your hard-earned money right now. You'd be throwing good money after bad if you went out and just bought a ton of GPUs. we're in the middle of an obvious downward trend, and we have been crabbing sideways for months. It's been a very difficult thing to get back into profits on GPU mining. That said, you make your, you make up your own business plans. You have your own long-term roadmap, your own long-term goals. I'm just advocating that people be really responsible and thoughtful about what your plan is a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. What do you really want to do with your mining efforts and with your efforts within cryptocurrency and blockchain investment, right? So just be mindful of that. And in my opinion, in the same way that I was very vocal about Chia mining not being the right choice at a certain time, I just want to be as vocal about that now with GPU mining. I don't think it's a really good time to be scaling up your GPU mining operation. I've been saying that for a couple of months now. So I just want to toe the line there. For the record, other people might be saying like, oh my gosh, look at how many of these GPUs I got. Cool. But pump the brakes. For everybody else, might not be the right choice for you. No hate if you got that addiction, if you want to keep on growing, fine, you do you. But yeah, you won't hear it from me like, you should get these GPUs. You should come co-locate at my facility. Like, yikes. Vomit in my mouth. No. But here we are over on the Brains mining calculator. Grab the Bitmain S9. We can see the current price to break even is just about 8.3 cents, guys. Don't do it. Yeah. This is one of those situations in which ASIC miners as well, you're going to have sunk costs there that if things dip any further down, you need to be on renewable power, or you need to right size your mining operation, or you need to go to co-location. Those are your options with ASIC mining. So just be aware of that. I think that right here, this mining calculator, cost to mine 1 Bitcoin, it validates that. You're looking at producing 1 full Bitcoin for about $23,000 if you're on 5-cent power. And I think that's about as comfortable as I would be there. But imagine if you could, through on-site generation, bring that cost down to about 2 cents per kilowatt hour over the life of that miner. You're looking at about $9,000 per Bitcoin that you're now creating that Bitcoin, even on an Antminer S9. So do consider all of your green or renewable options at home if you're going to mine at home, and then consider all the co-location options available to you if you know somebody who can find a way to bring your cost of power all in because of on-site power generation or co-generation down to 2 cents per kilowatt hour. I think we've got to really start chasing that efficiency for Bitcoin mining now if you're interested in that. Take a look at our portfolio. Guys, I see the Deadwood in the chat. He says, hello all. Hope y'all got those Dome coins staking today. Hey, you know what? Now that you mention it, I think I missed last week. Shoot. Got 2% that I got to pull out of Dome. Appreciate you saying that, man. Shilling in the chat. I appreciate that, though, man. I need to put it in my junk drawer here, too. But GPU mining portfolio, we got Flux. It's still leading the charge, but it's way down. Without dumping on the coin, it would have been a good time to take some profits, I guess, a few weeks ago. Let's take a look. Yeah, last 7 days, even just 7 days ago, would have been a really good time to have pulled some profits from there. Ton token as well. Everything across the board, kind of looking at like it's hurt. We got SafeCoin looking manipulated. Just going to call that call that as I see it. Looking manipulated. Could be that people have some automated bots over on safe.trade, and that could be why it's directly affecting SafeCoin, because it is a primary trading pair over on safe.trade. So I don't want to cry foul there, since they also operate an exchange. Could be that people are just really pushing to try to maintain their profits there. Equilibria also downward trend. Everything looks pretty well correlated to Bitcoin right now. Not all that big a surprise. GRT Baldini says, hey, what's up, you fine people? Not much. Thanks for being here, Baldini. Got Matic, Aave, interest-bearing, wrapped Ethereum doing a really weird dance sideways there and staying above Ethereum profits. Interesting. Mimblewimble Coin, Ren BTC, and Polygon all above their break-even points, but everything else below that point is now in the red. Wah. Bottom of the list, biggest loser is Haven at below $2, getting into that extreme value by territory. Looks like it's bouncing off some support. It's bounced, come back up, did its own little dead cat bounce there. I don't know if that's necessarily correlated to Bitcoin. Try to find our closest wrapped Bitcoin representation. SBTC over on Synthetics is looking like it did a similar movement, but it didn't find that bottom support all the way quite so far down as Haven did. So I don't know what to make of that, but it looks like it's highly correlated there, that little double top before coming back down to some support right now. Interesting to say the least. But we do want to take a look at that, guys. Anytime that we're looking at these little the little tiny charts over on CoinGecko, you hear me call this stuff out where I say correlated to Bitcoin or not correlated to Bitcoin. And I know some of you are going to be like, yeah, I got it. I know what those words mean, Seth, but hear me out. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm referring to when I say that, what I mean is that these charts may be so closely tied to Bitcoin's price movement that like instead of saying like, oh, it's exactly what Bitcoin did, it's very, very strongly correlated to what Bitcoin did moving up or moving down. And when we take a look at those two charts, even in that little thumbnail view of 7 days, it's a really great kind of like high level indicator. And, you know, I don't want to dig too deep into the technical analysis there, guys, because I just don't think the technical analysis can help us understand world events, for example. Things happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. The technical analysis doesn't tell us those things. The technical analysis doesn't tell us about legislation being passed in California or Colorado or in Brazil, right? Like those things can't possibly live on a chart. So this is just another little data point, but I like looking at whether it's sort of generally correlated to a downward movement in Bitcoin or an upward movement in Bitcoin or a little formation in Bitcoin, right? Like a little head and shoulders or a double top or a dead cat bounce. Some of these little obvious like moves that you can see on a chart when you zoom out to about 7 days. So just wanted to throw that out there, guys. It's important to me to just see, are any of our favorite coins in these portfolios, this paper trade portfolio, are any of them so obviously correlated to Bitcoin that we can pretty much like take for granted if Bitcoin's going down, this coin's going to go down too. And when it moves up, it's going to be like almost 1-to-1. If Bitcoin does a little bounce, our favorite coin there is going to do a little bounce as well. So that's why I like calling that out as we go. Got Learn VFX in the chat. How are you, man? It says 2022 to 2023 will be the battle of the EVM chains. Of course, Ethereum is the 800-pound gorilla and probably always will be. Yep, we went over the DeFi Llama charts on that. Looks like it's putting up a fight for sure to not go too far below the roughly 60% dominance of the DeFi TVL right now. So yeah, no, agreed. EVM chains, I think they've got a lot of life in them. Well, guys, don't blink. We're going to talk about some other stuff that I think is going to give even EVM chains a run for their money. And it rhymes with Cosmwasm. That's so dumb. Yeah, it's so dumb. Cosmos Web Assembly, whatever. Cosmos Wasm. There you go. It'll make sense. Just hold on. This is our GPU mining chart, though, guys. And I love seeing all those coins in there. We are missing something, and I think, yep, that what we were missing. Nope. Actually, we're not missing it. There's Ethereum Classic. And the question came up from before, what do I think about Ethereum Classic? I think right now, based on our current portfolio, we see that Ethereum Classic is 58% down from when we put in a paper trade. So jump back in time. In those comments, I think it was some Goblin Loser. Was it some Goblin Loser that asked about it? Yep, asked about Ethereum Classic now. Well, you know, I think that Ethereum Classic has got a lot of ground to catch up if it wants to, say, overtake Ethereum as the main sort of DeFi chain that people look to when miners are migrating away from Ethereum. I don't think it has that kind of resilience to it. I don't think it has that kind of, I don't think it's got those legs straight up. I just don't think it is. Learn VFX in the chat brought up a really great point there that there'll be a lot of EVM chains vying for power and more TVL. Ethereum Classic ain't it, man. We can jump back over to DeFi Llama to take a look at some of the charts there, but I mean, DeFi Llama, I'm just not seeing it, right? I'm not seeing Ethereum Classic have that. Here we go. Well, there we go. Ethereum Classic. I'm just not seeing it put up those numbers, right? So TVL 0, Swapcat dominance 0, right? Like it's available on some protocols to be able to flip things around, but who in their right mind is saying like, I'm going to start this new EVM style. I'm going to start this Solidity project, and you know where I really need to deploy it? I've got to deploy it on Ethereum Classic. Said no one, literally ever, let alone in 2022. And like Learn VFX is saying, into 2023, there's so many other options, guys. Phantom is killing it. Avalanche, even more so. And then we haven't even checked back in to projects that are yet to launch, like Pulse Chain, which again, in my mind, it's still a little bit of a promise chain. I don't have my hopes up too high at the moment for Pulse Chain right now. We'll see when they deliver, right? That's what matters, is when a mainnet launches and to see how many bugs they have to iron out, how many problems they have to deal with after launch, because it will not be flawless. It will not have perfect 100% uptime with 0 problems in execution. For as much as that whole that whole community coming from Hex is going to try to say like, well, look at Hex. It had perfect uptime and never a problem with that smart contract. Bruh, that's not how networks run. Networks, to say that it's going to definitely run without any problems at all, in zero hacks, zero exploitability, zero problems with finality and with composability. Come on, man, get real. Every one of these smart contract chains has had some kind of growing pains, and Pulse Chain will be no exception when it launches, because it hasn't launched yet, because they're trying to put forth, they're trying to get that mainnet launching on the right foot and looking the best it can. But the reality is, if they wait until it's perfect to launch mainnet, it will literally never launch. So they have to launch it eventually. And yeah, some of these networks, they're a bit like art, right? They're never finished. They're just abandoned. And like, good grief. Gmail was listed as being in beta for like 8 years after the entire world was already using it. So yeah, if you're working in software and networks, you kind of just have to live with a degree of ambiguity, right? Surrounding whether or not your product is ready, right? Finished. It's never ready. It's never perfect. It's just shipped or not shipped. So yeah, we got a lot of EVM chains that I think are going to come out of the woodwork and give Ethereum a run for its money. But Ethereum Classic, I think that ain't it. It's just not seeing it. So what are my thoughts on it? I think those use cases matter. I think those protocols delivering on top of those networks matter. And that's why, guys, that's why I've given Ravencoin such a hard time. It's not that I don't like the project or the leadership or the community. I mean, check all those boxes, right? They passed that side of the blockchain test with flying colors. But what third parties are saying, like, I gotta build on Ravencoin? Literally no one. Not a soul. Not a single developer has ever said publicly, you know what, the perfect blockchain for this DeFi project, the perfect blockchain for this NFT project to give me added functionality, to give me whitelisting, even though they got the whitelisted assets, they've got the privileged assets or whatever. The perfect project network for me to launch on will definitely be Ravencoin because of the further composability and all the smart contract capabilities. They're not saying it. They're just not. So Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, those have been two projects that for me, I've like for a while now, I've just kind of been like, okay, cool. Latrell is saying BBT and Son of a Tech are going to do a Raven collab on one of Son of a Tech's morning shows. That's awesome. More power to them, because I respect the heck out of these two individually, and I do. And collectively, I know they're going to put on a great show. I just disagree firmly about Ravencoin having that kind of ability to go the distance, that kind of endurance in a market like this. They're not showing the partnerships, and BBT kind of willing that into existence. He was talking about Loopring being the preferred ZK or the preferred scaling solution for Ethereum. How's that turning out? Guys, none of us is perfect. That's all I'm saying. And I can respect these guys and see that they're accomplished in their lane, but also point out very clearly that I disagree and give my reasons for it and be right? That can happen. They can be wrong. I can be wrong too, but they can be wrong about these things. So just going to throw it out there. Son of a Tech is asking BBT to sell him on Raven. He's not a big fan. Yeah, I think Son of a Tech and I think we both kind of had that awakening at a similar time. We were both like, nobody's building. That's the big thing. Nobody's building on it. So yeah. And BBT, again, guys, I have the utmost respect for these two. Would I, so when the Compass Mining podcast has asked me to come on with BBT, right? Like, I'll calendar that crap. I will be there with bells on. I love spending time around that guy. I love being able to do media appearances and chew the fat with BBT or with Son of a Tech, right? Like they're two of my favorite creators in the world. They're really great at what they do. So anyway, I'm gushing now at this point, but I'm also saying BBT is wrong about Raven, 100% wrong about Raven, and Son of a Tech is wrong about Polygon and QuickSwap. He's said stuff that has been really demeaning about those networks, and he's been wrong. So, like, guys, none of us has it perfectly figured out. Right? We're all trying to figure out this stuff as we go. And it's being built as we go too, right? So it's like one week to another. It's like, I can't wait till this thing gets built and it's not built, or they build it and it's broken. So yeah, it's very easy to be wrong in the blockchain space. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I think it's easiest, especially when you try to pick coins that do not have a track record, don't have partnership, and have nobody building on them. That for sure is like, oh man, you can't will this into existence. You can't wish this into production. It has to be built by third parties. So yeah, anyway, that's DeFi Llama, guys, in a nutshell. GPU mining profitability we know is way down. Go back to our GPU mining portfolio, though, and I think that Ethereum Classic is right there in the middle, right about where it should be. They need to have those relationships built. On that note, I'm just going to say also, guys, let's take a look at our market cap, and I'm going to maybe do another culling here. Bottom of the list, we got Matic, Aave interest-bearing, wrapped Ethereum, and Mimblewimble coin that don't have listed market caps. Ryo currency is showing severe signs of poor health, and for as much as I appreciate the lead developers on Ryo currency, with Ryo currency, they are just, guys, they're not showing enough resilience. They're not showing enough innovation to be able to keep their place on this list, in my opinion. Zano, I think they put in so much additional work, and I mean, they integrated stuff like overnight, like effortlessly, because you got the person who created the spec for the Kryptonite coins, and way back in the day for Bytecoin and Monero, one of the original devs, like the OG of Kryptonite coins, working on Zano. Like, you have that level of talent and ability to execute. So they've been able to integrate things into Zano that nobody else has been able to integrate. Ryo currency, not so much. And so I'm taking a look at this critically and thinking, do we maybe start culling the bottom of this list by way of market cap very, very soon? You tell me in the comment section, maybe we do the opposite thing, and instead we have them on a show as we move into deeper bear market territory, or as the prices plunge even more. Maybe I invite the Ryo currency development team onto the channel, as I've done in years past, right? With teams when we're in the midst of failing price action. I interview lead developers and popular people in the space. As you recall, I did this with Charles Hoskinson. I did this with Roger Ver. I did this, of course, with the lead developer of Zano, and with both teams that have worked on Haven, and as well as the Loki project. Guys, I'm happy to do that. But for the purposes of tracking a portfolio, you tell me what you want to see. Some Goblin Loser says, wouldn't they want to build on Ethereum Classic since it's original code and not a fork like ETH is? Wouldn't that be incentive to build upon? No, it's not enough incentive. In open source, being a fork is oftentimes a benefit because you have improvements. And then if you have development funds and you have social gravity, you have actual like developer interest on your chain, then you win. Ethereum Classic lost this race sometime in 2018 to 2019, and they've been a dead man walking since their price action popped up, and they just don't know it yet. Like, that sounds like a really harsh thing, but until some other sides of their ecosystem kind of get shored up, and specifically the partnerships, then you're going to have a really hard time convincing me otherwise. And certainly in a direct competition against Ethereum, no. Ethereum Classic just lost. Like, they got their butts handed to them by Ethereum, and it's not even close. It isn't. It's not even close. Like, let's take a look at this real fast. Oof, there you go. Here's Ethereum Classic with market cap 3.5 billion. Here's Ethereum at almost 100x, not 10x, not 20x or 50x, almost 100 times the market cap. So yeah. I mean, and that's just it. Like, I appreciate you throwing, like, spitballing here, some Goblin Loser, and I don't mean to be like weird about it. Just in my mind, like, it's going to be really hard for me to even start entertaining a conversation about Ethereum Classic versus Ethereum for those reasons. So, I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to see alternatives to Ethereum. It'd be cool. I'm not seeing it in Ethereum Classic. But moving on to the rest of our portfolio, guys, that's our current GPU mining portfolio. It's ranked there according to market cap. Let's see if we can, I don't think it should stay in that orientation when we go over to hard drive mining should be our PNL. Ooh, blood everywhere. Total PNL for hard drive mining, 51% down. Basically, if you did any of this hard drive mining and you held on to all these coins, you'd be down pretty bad. For a while, they were holding their strength. But here's the thing. People think about this stuff, and when there's not a whole lot of investment up front, you see this, right? Like value just kind of like totally hemorrhages out of these projects completely. There is something about the fundamental nature of proof of work and the sunk costs into proof of work and having it really have real world costs that seems to preserve value. Weird, right? Isn't that weird how the markets do that? But yeah, when you say like, okay, we're going to go eco-friendly, we're going to go green, the money kind of goes with it, right? Where it's like, oh, what's the new green thing? What's the other green thing? Oh no, my coin's getting wrecked. Kind of weird. Corporal Crypto says, I disagree with you. Institutional money pushing market cap doesn't mean the best chain. So I didn't say that institutional money pushing market cap equals the best chain. What I'm saying is that adoption and usage equals the best chain. And unfortunately, it also follows that sometimes having some institutional money to inject investment capital into various developer funds and into various treasuries, unfortunately, that's a sad reality. Sometimes that pushes adoption. So, but I'm not going to directly say that it's the institutional money pushing market cap that creates the best chain. I agree with you there 100%, Corporal Crypto. I'm not a big fan of corporo state controlled blockchain. Like, what a joke, right? What a farce. But we need to see adoption. Right? We need to see uses. We need to see use cases. We need to see protocols on top. So it is like, yeah, there is this weird line. And Corporal Crypto goes on to say, the whole crypto space has lost its mind thinking proof of stake is the way to go. I think you're right. Yeah, no, I do. I think you're right. I think that proof of stake, if it's going to get out of the hands of corporate state controlled backers, then we need to very much rethink a lot of the reward systems that are currently in production with proof of stake, because otherwise it's a re-centralizing force into corporate state backers. So your current S&P 500 and your current world powers in the geopolitical landscape, they don't change, right? It's just same old with, a different symbol on the currency, right? On a different symbol on the dollar bill. So yeah, I agree with you there, man. Wholeheartedly. Proof of work is what makes it so special, guys, for Bitcoin. It's the reason that I went ahead and just integrated the Bitcoin logo into my logo. I've got that level of conviction with Bitcoin's mission and vision. Yeah, it really is important. Here's Chia, though, having a little comeback story. Apparently, it bounced off of some resistance a couple days ago and is now doing something that looks possibly manipulated. I'm not gonna cry foul just yet, but that's a little weird. Looks like it dipped well below its previous all-time low. And yeah, I don't know about that. Kind of sus. Moving from hard drive mineable coins into CPU mineable coins. What do we got here? Come on now, show it to us. Got Raptorium still at the very top, still giving about 8.5x in profits. Still, best time to take profits would have been when you saw you were in profit. You might still be in profit for yourself. Consider, even though it may be painful, consider whether or not you should take profits now on the way down. It's up to you. Of course, again, like with Bitcoin, we're seeing that we are in the green, right? We're seeing that it might be DCA territory for some of these projects as well. So you figure out the strategy that makes the most sense for you, but we are in a downtrend, and it did make sense to take profits when we were not in strong DCA territory for Bitcoin, if those are correlated coins. Monero all the way down to 9.3 cents. Ouch. And Monero is a little bit of our canary in the coal mine here. Current market cap, just over around 5.5 million for Monero. We'll take a look at that in comparison to Doge. I think that Doge is also kind of being right-sized in terms of its current market value. Speaking of coins that I think are probably not worth their current market cap or their current valuation, I think the Doge fits the bill. Still, though, this side of the portfolio is in the money. CPU mineable coins, when you consider the lifting, the massive lift that Raptorium and Epic Cash have given to this portfolio, if you had just all these coins, you'd still be up by almost 200%. So pretty amazing to see that. ASIC mineable coins, Definitely P&L is suffering there. You'd be 53% down as well if you were only into Bitcoin, Zcash, Nervos, etc., etc. Biggest loser here is Pirate Chain, though it is not at its all-time low. And let's take a look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin holding strong at about 13 cents. It's not down nearly as bad as some of the other entrants here. Let's take a look at 7-day dip values, though. Yeah, it looks like Doge was hurt the least. Same with Dash and Bitcoin. So clearly really strong communities there. Dash, the Dash loyalists around the world have made Dash extremely easy to use in various different markets. And then such as like New Hampshire, right here in the United States, as well as Central and South America, there are areas that accept Dash at the point of sale. So they've done so much work and outreach over the years. So that's pretty amazing to see. But it's not a shock, right, to see that the 7-day is so tightly correlated between these three assets here. Biggest loser by way of 7-day is, yeah, again, Pirate Chain, but it's still not all-time low, right? We have seen Pirate Chain lower than this before. So still, some would say this is value buy territory. Grin, based on what I just read about the DAO hack, Grin has lost all of my confidence. I was already not a super big fan of Grin. Now I'm just like done with Grin. Don't even want to see it anymore. Yeah. Anyway, ASIC portfolio down bad. FPGAs, what you got? Cadena still in the lead. Total P&L 115% up, but that's pretty much just because of Cadena. 0x Bitcoin is also positive, but it's not the thing that's entirely floating our portfolio. So just be aware of that. 0x Bitcoin has not been able to do its little swing move for a while. So the one trick pony, 0x Bitcoin, has stopped doing its one trick. That's kind of sad. Look over 24 hours and you can see right there, there's been one move. Let's look over 7 days to see if we get 7 of those. And nope, we haven't over 7 days, right? Like something's totally off. Somebody's turned off their bots, or the secret's out, right? Like the fact that we identified that pattern on 0x Bitcoin months ago and that I was very vocal about it, maybe has gotten a couple of centralized exchanges to shut down some accounts or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. It is kind of sad, though. The gravy train has definitely jumped off the rails for 0x Bitcoin. Looks like this could be it. This could be terminal. It makes me sad, though, because somebody out there, you just know, somebody out there with an automated wash trading bot on 0x Bitcoin was printing money, just like hand over fist, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in Tether or whatever. They were just like, that's it. I'm done. I got it made. Like a couple more months of this and I can retire. Who knows? Maybe they did. Let's just imagine how happy their life is right now that they were able to do that, and they took out their profits, they paid their taxes like a good little citizen, and they took every possible exception, right? Took every possible tax break that they could. So legally they paid very, very little, but they paid their taxes like a good citizen, and then they expatted, got the heck out of Dodge, and they retired somewhere getting ready to buy their own private island. That's what happened to the person that was wash trading all that 0x Bitcoin, right? Yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, kind of sad to see they're no longer doing that, but whatever. It was fun while it lasted. Whoever you are, 0x Bitcoin wash trader, we salute you. But Digibyte, biggest loser on this side of the portfolio, still not as bloody as it could be, and being below 2 cents. Guys, I'm gonna stand by what I said before. We may be able to see a little bit more deflation out of, like, a little bit more taken out of this. Craig Thompson says, I thought crypto was ban proof. Yeah, I think it is. That's an interesting comment. Tell me what you think about that, guys and gals. But Craig, clarify. What do you mean crypto is ban proof? Who's banning crypto? Tell me. Need to know. But see Digibyte in the bottom of this list. I do think that Digibyte stands a shot at being the next one. Stands a shot at being the next Doge, right? Being able to just like pull itself up by the bootstraps and have that 5x or maybe 10x when it does return. And I'm not a Digibyte max yet. To be very clear, I'm not like super big into Digibyte. But anyway, proof of stake smart contracts. We got Terra in the #1 spot. Definitely has popped up quite a bit. Phantom, Avalanche, Solana, and then Wax in the top 5. And there's Cosmos. Steady Eddie. There's Cosmos still building. Silent but deadly, just outside of the top 5 stacked ranking there. Wax is still doing its thing as well as the Worldwide Asset Exchange. People who are serious about NFTs are there. Hey, Greg Moravik is in the chat and still alive. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. But Cosmos, then Harmony BNB, and Ethereum. Right, Ethereum kind of in the last there. Moonriver is it's on the list. Kusama, I think, was doing okay. But it looks like that was maybe a little bit of a flash in the pan. Something was, but some really exciting price action on Kusama. But it looks like, there we go. Yeah, Polkadot. Where'd you go, Polkadot? There you go. Polkadot is below Tron. Ouch. And, Polygon looks like it's below Polkadot. Which, again, I know I've got a discrepancy between these two sides of the portfolio. I've got to correct that. Internet Computer still our biggest loser. Zill, Neo, EOS. Ugh. But if we do a reverse stacked ranking, Kusama's in that bottom 5. Ouch. I don't know what's going on there. Should have my friend Claudio over from Crypto's Chain, and we should talk to him about Kusama and Polkadot. Definitely a bit more in the know than I am there. Some goblin loser. I love that. I love that comment. He says, there is no ban in Ba Sing Se. And you're taking us back. Right, guys? If you don't know what Ba Sing Se is, go look up the Avatar, The Last Airbender. First one. Greg Moravec is calling for more blood in the streets. And that, my friends, is financial advice. Obviously not. But it'd be great if it were, right? Craig Thompson says there's no one stopping anyone sending crypto full node to full node, but when crypto exchanges get involved, that's what makes crypto bannable. Yeah, no, you're right. Totally. Yeah, they have too much power. I agree. Centralized exchanges are a blight to the cryptocurrency scene. Guys, get yourself a hardware wallet. Get yourself I literally just showed you, even just a carbide tipped scribe and any old chunk of scrap metal with some paint and scratch out your seed phrase. We could do an acid test on this. We could use a blowtorch on this. We could try to hit this thing with a pneumatic press, and at an 1/8 inch thick right there, stainless steel, it's going to be fine. Spoiler alert. It's not going to destroy what you just scratched with this $5 carbide scribe or whatever. Was it $10? I forget how much this thing costs. The point is, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than losing all your crypto. Really, a whole lot. So totally worth it. Centralized exchanges, though, they don't want you to think about how simple this is. You put the seed phrase here. You keep the seed phrase with a hardware wallet for you to be able to approve your transactions, and then it doesn't matter which chain you're on. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then by extension, any EVM chain, Polygon, Avalanche, Phantom, Heco, BSC, any future EVM style chain that's just like Ethereum, they're all going to talk to your hardware wallet via MetaMask the same way. So yeah, all right here. And if you're on a ledger, Monero and others, right? There's a lot of ways you can back things up there. Anyway. See, Craig Thompson saying crypto needs to be fungible, needs the ability to be traded or exchanged one for another at any given time. If crypto exchanges block certain transactions, it makes some coins or tokens less desirable. Now I hear what you're saying, and so you need to refungibilize your coins as well. I'm realizing this is the content that I need to make. This is the content that I need to make, because there are some people who don't know how to make their Bitcoin fungible again, or their Ethereum or other tokens on Ethereum fungible again. But there are ways. So you make very good points there. All right, let's just take a look here, guys. So that's our proof of stake smart contract portfolio. It's up, but only by a little bit. And it is everything above the line here. Ethereum down from when we made that purchase, but BNB on up. That's keeping the side of the portfolio in the money, but mostly Terra, Phantom, Avalanche, Solana, and Wax. Everything else is kind of like, it's okay. But I guess even at that, Solana up. That's where we're getting the 100% plus. Moving from proof of stake smart contracts to our junk drawer. Let's see what we got here. Junk drawer. Tell us what you got. First off, junk drawer is leading the pack with its total P&L. Saitama Inu, despite being a meme coin and being made fun of, people are a little bit upset by the fact that I've got this side of the portfolio, right? I've got projects like Hex listed here. It's like, I'm sorry. Not sorry. That's what I'm looking for. Hex marks almost the bottom of our profit line, right? We got Ampleforth, and then everything above that point there, like stuff like SafeMoon Inu, right? Stuff that you wouldn't take seriously. It's all in the money. Whereas all of our strong fundamental projects, they're all in the red. These projects did great. If we paid attention to some of the meme coins and some of the jokes and stuff, we'd be doing all right. And you don't have to divest your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, your other fundamental projects. You don't have to like sell those to get a position in these projects. You know, there's kind of an issue there. Let's see. Paul is asking, wasn't Grin updated and improved since 2016? Yes, it was, but its mainnet didn't launch until late 2018. So yeah, and Mimblewimble is just as a technology has not fundamentally improved either. It does allow for a much smaller blockchain size via chain pruning. Versus say just like typical UTXOs. So it is a much leaner blockchain implementation than just your pure like UTXO system, like Bitcoin. But the improvements have not made it any less simple to de-anonymize, clearly. So even though the DAO hack took place in 2016, the DAO hacker didn't use Grin until later, like 2 years later when it actually existed, first off. And then it hasn't been all that much more improved since then. So yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing. But yeah, it's been improved. Just not by much, not by enough, clearly. So Craig is asking about me featuring something about Ergo Mixer. I didn't even know that Ergo had a mixer. Is it literally just a fork of Tornado Cash? Because I could just feature Tornado Cash. Right? I mean, if that's how it works, is that how it works? Okay. So Tornado Cash is a free and open source set of Solidity contracts that can be forked by anyone, including the folks over at Ergo. So if they did that, hey, smart. That's smart contract code that works. So yeah. All right, going on down the list, guys. But just to remind you, if we're making fun of meme coins, they kicked everybody else's butt here, right? We got strong fundamentals. We got like utility tokens. There's Celsius Network. Their token took a nosedive. Pancake Swap, even though it's provided so much value, so many people have transacted on that network or on that DEX. Uniswap, I mean, that made people rich overnight. It's already above what its airdrop price was. If you got this airdrop to you at $2, you're still in the money. Let's just have some context there. Same with some other coins as well. Moving on down the list, though, looks like the biggest loser. Well, we didn't put an entry in for Everrise yet. I do appreciate that suggestion from before. Just haven't been able to add that to the portfolio yet. Looks like Bone is the lowest one. QuickSwap is down as well. A lot of these tokens are down by double digits in the last 7 days. Let's see what the biggest damage is, though. Looks like Ampleforth, it got the least hurt. Celsius, Floki, Everrise, Saitama Inu. That's hilarious, man. Saitama Inu took some of the least damage, and it's where we have some of the most profit. Look at that. Still 39x over minimum. Sorry, 39x? What the heck am I talking about there? Go back to our P&L listings here. I mean, the bottom line is if you put $1,000 into Saitama Inu, you'd still be able to walk away with over $350,000, over $250,000. And at its peak, we saw over $1.5 million in pure profit above what you initially put in. I mean, I feel like I've been doing it all wrong. Seriously, this last cycle made me feel like I got it all wrong after seeing Saitama Inu basically just come in and like melt everyone's face off. Crazy. But anyway, I digress. That's our list there for the junk drawer. Go into our IBC gang side of the portfolio. And this is where I'm really getting excited, guys. I do feel like there's serious promise over in the Cosmos ecosystem. And I realize we've talked about like proof of work, how it does create a far less gameable system. What I'm enjoying about Cosmos so far is that it uses the Tendermint consensus protocol, which is proving to be extremely robust. And as far as I can tell so far, well, it's working out well. We do need better consensus protocols other than just proof of stake 3.0 or weighted proof of stake or incentivization models that clearly just further enrich the corporo state backers. So, yeah, but Cadena is at the top of the list for this side of the portfolio, right? The IBC gang. Most people don't even know that it's built on IBCs, meaning that it's got built-in atomic swaps from one chain to another. Terra, Secret, Osmosis, they're all in the money. Cosmos itself is in the money. Then get Comdex just below that. Our acquisition price is a bit low, or a bit high, actually. So now at $1.85, it's not looking so great. Certex, Sentinel, all the rest, and then Persistence in the last spot. But that's because after its TGE, it popped up so high that now at $3, it looks like we've lost money. So yeah, it is down 74% from its acquisition price, not its all-time high. So yeah, this is the IBC gang though, guys. What I really like about this right now is that on Osmosis DEX, you can provide liquidity for any of these as well as do some staking there. Let's see. Hey, so Craig is giving a little bit of feedback on the Ergo mixer. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'd love to take a look at it. That's interesting. So yeah, I appreciate that. So it looks like Craig is saying that the Ergo mixer is something that is based on chain. It might not be smart contract based, which, you know, for my part, I have no problem with it being smart contract based and having ZK proofs be part of the mixing procedure. I think it does very much help with the anonymity set to know that you've got a completely severed transaction, or UTXO, whichever system you use, but completely severed transaction, and then just have it reappear elsewhere, almost, you know, a la mint and burn, or a la burn and mint, which is not actually what's happening with ZK enabled smart contracts like Tornado Cash. But you are locking up in a ZK enabled ZK enabled transaction and then redepositing somewhere else. So Tornado Cash is proven to work very, 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 very well. And in fact, if there was something like Tornado Cash that was just built on Bitcoin, like a ZK layer for Lightning Network, oh, dude, it would shred everything else out there. Something like, or the ZK mixer for Lightning Network, it'd be game over. Like, we really wouldn't need much else. Gonna go put on the maxi hat there, right? Like, if we had a ZK enabled mixer for Lightning Network, we could do so much other stuff on top of that. But now I'm getting into pure speculation because nothing quite like that exists, and it's not roadmapped as far as I can tell. Anyway, guys, that is our current, our total portfolio there. Here's again Samurai Wallet. In the meantime, while we don't have ZK mixing on Bitcoin, we do have this really good coin join implementations like what's available on Samurai Wallet. I strongly encourage you to take a look at it. It's also just a really good Bitcoin wallet for sort of day-to-day usage. If you want to have a hot wallet on a phone, just have a decommissioned phone, even something that you're not bringing with you. Hey, Craig Thompson is kind of getting technical in the chat. I really appreciate that. He's saying with Ergo, it's hard to burn its UTXO. There can't be any burn, but tokens. This is because due to storage rent, it will end back in another box. Okay, cool. I got to take a closer look at it. I'm not super well read on Ergo yet, but I appreciate you asking. So I'm going to have to take out time to actually read up on it because I don't know enough about it yet. I've been saying also that I want to get deeper into the Cardano ecosystem, and I think that Ergo, as well as DAO, right, like, which I did a little video on, I think they're kind of proving to me that the use cases are growing on Cardano, and I do need to get a little more well-read on it. So thank you for prompting me to do that. Guys, I'm going to say in the meantime, though, we do have some really great wallets right now that maintain fungibility for Bitcoin. Samurai is the one, right? Like, don't be fooled by Wasabi. Clearly, that was a mistake that people have made. And Samurai Wallet is free and open source. It's something that we recommend for the Mind Your Biz phone, as well as just relatively few other wallets for your phone, just hot wallets for your phone, as well as WalEth for Ethereum and EVM, or just any EVM-based chains, because you can use a Trezor. Not a ledger, but you can use a Trezor to unlock your WalEth accounts there on your phone. And then you have all the benefits of running behind Tor, right? Having Orbot run, or having a VPN run, or having a very, very hardened phone that also requires a hardware wallet to unlock your accounts. So there are ways to maintain your privacy much more securely on a phone. Don't be discouraged, and don't think that privacy is like dead or that it's not possible. It's not achievable. I think that's going to become like the primary focus when I'm not otherwise doing reviews, especially as we're moving towards like a sideways market or a dipping market. As paid reviews become, or sponsored reviews become less available, you know, this is what's going to matter, right? Whatever we have, whatever value we've built up, we need to maintain, right? We need to maintain the sovereignty of our data as well, and our private personal identifying information. So look for more privacy content here. Look for more reviews as they become available. But do appreciate you guys' feedback. Appreciate you being with me on this journey. Thank you for 15K. Got to come up with something that's like a proper giveaway stream. So do leave me comments below this video after we're done going live as to what you think would be a really cool 15K giveaway, or should we hold out until we get to 20 and make it extra like grandiose, do something really, really big? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Really appreciate you being here with me live. You're the reason I make this media. You know I love your face. Remember to stay private. Mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mineyourbiz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.